Encounters with underwater humanoids in the Crimean Peninsula. When it comes to Crimean creatures, most people have only heard of the sea serpent, also known as the Karadag monster. But strange sea people or underwater humanoids also appear regularly in Crimea, and most of the known sightings occurred in the 20th century. Basically, these observations were made in the Black Sea region, which is located at Cape Aya, not far from Baklava. These strange underwater creatures were described in different ways, but most often they looked like people, unusually large, silver in color, as if wearing smooth, tight suits and with flippers on their feet. Probably artificial, but most of all, the eyewitnesses were surprised by the eyes. They were huge, almond-shaped, and very bright blue. The fact that they were not humans, but some mysterious underwater hominids, is indicated by the fact that these creatures had no breathing apparatus visible on their bodies, such as gas cylinders, oxygen tanks, and swam at an extraordinary depth. Crimean researcher Anton Anfalov has his own version about this. He believes that in this place a strong underwater river of fresh water flows into the sea, and that the underwater humanoids are attracted to this type of water, which they collect for their needs. Anfalov himself also proposed the hypothesis that these aquatic hominids actually live not in the water but in an underground city under Cape Aya, and that they may be descendants of an ancient, highly developed race, which is mentioned in ancient sources, ancient legends and texts, for example, in the Indian epics and the Sumerian tablets. By the way, in the area of Cape Aya, UFOs are also often observed, and perhaps they and the aquatic hominids, the humanoids, are somehow connected with each other. Born in Sverdlovsk, Anfalov later moved to Crimea and lived there for many years, collecting stories from local residents about strange underwater creatures. They eventually concluded that although the eyewitnesses did not know each other, they lived in different places, that their stories did not appear in the press, their descriptions of the appearance of the hominids were strikingly similar. A glass tunnel? Anfalov also heard a story that in 1954 to 56 underground galleries for the army were being dug at Cape Aya, and the builders encountered a strange tunnel that went deep. The walls of the tunnel were so intensely molten, as if exposed to high temperatures, that they appeared vitrified. No technology of this time could create such a tunnel. The builders were amazed. And then representatives of the Navy arrived, examining everything, and ordered everything to be carefully buried and kept secret, and before that the tunnel was filled with concrete. A beautiful mermaid? The most famous sighting of the underwater humanoid at Cape Aya occurred August 18, 1991. The musician Vyacheslav Tertus, who was a very experienced swimmer, swam to Cape Aya about 100 meters from the shore. It was already dark, around 11:30 p.m. The sea was completely calm, and there was a bright full moon in the sky. Vyacheslav enjoyed the coolness and slowly floated on his back with the current, and suddenly someone hit him hard on the shoulder. The man turned around and saw no one, only heard a loud splash. For some reason he thought it was one of his friends staying at the shore who decided to play a prank on him, so he turned to the shore and swam there. But then someone hit him on the shoulder again, and much harder. This time, when Vyacheslav turned around, he saw the face of a young lady right in front of him. She had long blonde hair and huge eyes, much larger than human eyes. The eyes shone brightly in the night. The man got scared, pushed the girl away, and swam faster to the shore. He swam so fast he thought he had broken the world record. At the same time, he heard splashes behind him as if he was being chased, but he didn't look back. Near the shore, he was hit again, this time in the back. Turning, Vyacheslav saw the same girl in the water, only her face this time looked disappointed. Vyacheslav did not take long and swam to the shore, where his friends were already meeting him. According to his friends, they managed to notice how the body of a girl that shone in the water behind Vyashaslev as if dressed in a silver tight outfit, the body was clearly visible in the moonlight. Vyashaslev was so frightened by this incident that he was in a state of shock for several hours. However, later he went again and swam at night, hoping to see this beautiful sea girl again, but he never met her again. The fishermen and the Atlanteans. In the summer of 1997, Vasily Ivanovich N. was fishing near the schoolhouse. He stared at what he was going to catch and suddenly saw two giants with huge heads. These creatures spoke a language he did not understand and were in the water about 10 meters from the shore. That's about, 20 feet? 30 feet. According to Vasily, these humanoid creatures were about 3 meters tall, it's about 10 feet tall, and he immediately thought that they looked like the Atlanteans, about whom he had read somewhere. He was especially surprised by their eyes. They were huge, larger than human, strongly convex and bright blue, and the feet had either webbed toes or flippers. The fishermen nearby numbly watched these creatures until they were out of sight. P.S. He at least knows that it was in truth Atlanteans because the modern Greeks of the past 2,000 years had knowledge of this in their mythology. In July 2000, tourists from Moscow with children vacationed at Cape Aya in Crimea. Suddenly they saw something unusual in the water. About 300 meters from the shore, the head of the family had binoculars with him, and when he looked through them, he saw a huge snake in the water, and next to him was a man, at least 3 meters tall, 10 feet tall, the eyewitness said. The snake and the giant seemed to be playing with each other in the water, swimming side by side. The people watched their games for about 15 minutes, after which the snake swam somewhere and the giant swam to the shore and soon disappeared. In the summer of 2000, a certain Alexei S. went diving at Cape Aya. When he dived to the depth of about 20 meters, he saw underwater what appeared to be the entrance to a cave, and suddenly 2 3-meter tall and another smaller 2-meter tall humanoids appeared nearby. Alexei thought it was their child. All these creatures quickly swam into the underwater cave, and he was surprised that they were not wearing diving gear. No uniforms either. Terrified, Alexei then rushed to swim to the surface as fast as possible. So, when the coming races returned to the surface, they remembered the writings of the ancient texts and about the Atlanteans and living underwater in, of course, the hollow earth. And they remembered the mermaid sirens of the Ulysses mythology of Homer. Who knows? We even have a series of pyramids on the Crimean Peninsula that nobody seems to be caring about. So, who are these people? And we know that we hardly know anything about our oceans. We don't know what's down there. We know more about space and the moon than we do about what's under our oceans. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.